Okay, Barbenheimer Part 2. This shirt seems vaguely appropriate. Oppenheimer is a brand new 2023 historical biopic directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Cillian Murphy, Florence Pugh, a big, giant cast. Christopher Nolan, he needs no introduction. He is one of the most celebrated directors working today. Uh, Obviously, any movie he does, people are going to be excited for, myself included. So let's just go ahead and jump into this review, starting off with the good. And there's a lot to love in this movie. First of all, it's a Christopher Nolan film, obviously. First of all, you have Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb, and he does an absolutely terrific job. I know that Cillian Murphy isn't one of those actors to actively wish for an Oscar, but I'd be surprised if he didn't at least get an Oscar nomination during next awards season. He was absolutely terrific as Oppenheimer. He brings a nuance to the character. He's very deadpan, and he just captures the essence of Oppenheimer perfectly. And then you also have Robert Downey Jr. in this movie, and honestly, this is probably his best performance that I have seen in his entire career. He was absolutely terrific here. Again, another role that really deserves some Oscar love. He's not in the movie a whole bunch, but he's still a presence throughout the film, and he does a terrific job when he is on screen. And I cannot recommend his performance for an Oscar nomination enough. He's just absolutely terrific. Then you got Florence Pugh in this movie. Obviously, she's great. I've always loved Florence Pugh ever since, what was her first movie? Fighting with My Family, I think. And before that, she had like a small appearance in that Liam Neeson movie, The Commuter. I've loved her ever since her career started. I still love her, and her performance in this movie is just as great here as the rest of her career so far. Then you have Matt Damon in this movie, and Matt Damon's just another actor that really needs no introduction. He's one of the most celebrated actors working today, and he gives a really great performance in this movie. Once again, not the focus of the movie. Oppenheimer is the main focus, but he's really great. And one performance I really want to mention here is David Krumholtz. And I don't see a lot of people talking about his performance in this movie, but he was fantastic in this movie. Of all the supporting actors, aside from Robert Downey Jr., he's probably got the most screen time, aside from Oppenheimer. And I really loved his scenes with Cillian Murphy. They just work off each other really well. And I really hope that David Krumholtz gets more roles because he's just a very underrated actor, in my opinion. And aside from all those, you got a big cast in this movie. You got Emily Blunt is in here, Josh Peck is in here, Devin Bostic is in here, Josh Hartnett. Giant cast. Gary Oldman has a scene. It's really turned into a who's who of who's in this movie. Oh, Josh Peck's here, Rami Malek's here. There's giant cast. I could just sit here all day talking about everybody that's in this movie. But aside from the cast, you got a really interesting story here. I'm a huge history buff. World War II is one of my favorite eras to study. So a whole movie about the creation of the atomic bomb, one of the most important points in history. Yeah, I was gonna be there day one to see it, and it's just really enthralling. It's very compelling. Had me interested beginning to end. This is a 3-hour movie. I feel like the 3 hours, you start to feel it by the end, but honestly, I just don't think anything could have been cut out to fix the runtime of this movie because everything that happened was important. And I just really love the way everything is mixed together. You get flash forwards, you get flashbacks. Everything is told in kind of a non-linear way to where it just interweaves within the story and it works the best. And another thing that this movie has going for it is there is no CGI used within this movie. Everything is completely practical effects. And maybe 20 years ago, the big flex for a movie was how many CGI shots can we have in this movie. These days, the big flex for a movie is how little CGI is used. Everything wants to be CGI these days. So when a movie like this comes along with little to no CGI, it's just really refreshing and great to see. Even the atomic bomb test sequence, that was made with practical effects. Obviously, Nolan didn't use a real atomic bomb, but yeah, it's just really great to see a movie with little to no CGI. And speaking of the atomic bomb test sequence, wow. I mean, what an accomplishment from Nolan. I knew going in that it was probably going to be a pretty intense sequence, but I was not prepared for how actually intense it was leading up to the test. And once the bomb goes off, see this movie on the biggest possible screen. That's all I can say about that scene. It's just absolutely amazing. And then the score here, done by the same guy that did the score for Tenet, I believe. Score is absolutely amazing here. Really captures a lot of the essence of the story. And it really helps, especially in the build-up to the test sequence. Just really suspenseful, very enthralling, very epic. And yeah, it was just a great score. The editing really helps this movie as well. It helps it move along at a faster pace than you'd expect. And I just really think that this is a great movie. On from the good, on to the bad. I can't really think of anything. Yes, it's 3 hours long, but like I said, nothing could have been cut out to fix the runtime. So final thoughts. Oppenheimer is honestly one of the best of the year. I love it. It's one of my favorite Nolan films in recent memory. Oppenheimer is absolutely epic. Great acting on a really great scale. And I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on Oppenheimer. Have you seen this movie yet? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you have. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.